Alright friends, a big hello to everyone. Today we're doing a home video. My name is Igor, the Gravity Engraving channel, a channel about laser machines and markers. At the same time, I'll show you how I make color charts. I hope this helps someone out in that regard. There are settings configured earlier on other machines. Actually, the charts are all engraved and already tested. I usually save these charts in EZD format. Today, I decided to work specifically in EZCAD 3.0. I don't like this little program, I'll say it right now. I mean, EZCAD 2.0 is clunky and awkward, but stable. There are a bunch of its own quirks here. They tell me that EZCAD 3.0 is just fire as a program, but it's actually not like that. So we have a chart that, let's look at it physically, consists of a gazillion squares. The total number of squares we have is 224 little squares here, which basically makes up this large chart. A color chart that has everything necessary, but some color shades are missing. Again, there are different modes at different power levels for different purposes and brightness. So the left side is at minimum power, and the right side is already at the maximum. Black tones are missing here. Right now, we're going to be working on that exact process. How is all this going to be done? Look, let's start with the first thing. We need to create a template, a copy, something to build on. So we need a cleaning, a substrate, and we need, accordingly, a base of settings to, well, push off from. Control-C, Control-V, I'm moving it left and down to a new layer, and these two new layers, what do I need? To set their position, select, again, the layers that will be changed. Let's look. Layer 31st was our last one. Right-click here to add layer 32nd, apply to selected objects. Apply it, that's one, and repeat the same procedure here. So we select the layers, need to select the new ones. Okay, like this, we select the layers. It's better, of course, to check their sequence, so the engraving process will happen nicely. For you, and accordingly for parameter selection, you'll have the same algorithm almost everywhere, and we add parameter number 33. Apply to parameters 33. For aesthetics, you can change the tone, make it gray, for example. The color, basically click apply to objects again, and here, let's say, I don't know, make it a dark gray color, something like that. That way, they'll at least be like freaking different, not like that. Like this. Yeah, I rushed it. Here, you'll need to select accordingly and do the same thing right here. Done. What should we pay attention to? We've just worked with the layers, parameters, and settings. Now let's take the characteristics we have right here, which is one of the layers, and start working with it. First, what we're interested in, the fill density is fine, and second, we're interested in the characteristics in the right panel. So the frequency range, power, Q pulse, and other parameters we enter manually, 160, 70, and 9. So in this parameter, we enter... By the way, I didn't check the speed. I saw the frequency, but I didn't check the speed. 1000. Okay, let's change it. Set speed is 1000. 160. Q pulse value is 9. I showed how to change the Q pulse on the channel for EZCAD 3.0. Power is 70. I'll fill in all the other parameters based on the known specs of my source. 70. Well, and the rest we enter 180 automatically. Actually, these parameters are set independently by each user for their own equipment. We'll leave the jump speed and change this to these parameters. Again, I'm doing this for my scanner, everyone does it for their own. So we've set these specs, now we do the same here. We select our position and enter it. Now, I might touch on a topic that's not very pleasant for most of you, but I'm going to address it. People often send me materials for tests and experiments, and they start bugging me every hour, damn it. When? Again, the density here doesn't work for us. We'll have to change the density settings. We'll do that, no problem. What do we have here? Speed is 100, 180, 35, 13. Well, we'll do that now too. Okay, 100, 180, 35, 13. Okay, let's start with the first one. Set. Speed is 100, 180, 35. And the value is 13. So with this constant pestering, you're distracting me from my main work. from the main tasks. And then you start writing to me, when? You promised. After this, I don't promise anything to anyone anymore. That's the first thing. The second very important point is when people start writing to me with things like, will we do this? Will we do that? And they give an example like, will you engrave, say, a small nail? Some hypothetical one, right? But in reality, they don't want to bring a nail. They want to bring a whole saber. And why am I bringing this up? Because this situation happens very often, and people are like, well, the main thing is to get to you, and then we'll just wear you out. And that's why I'm starting to treat people the same way, because people are mostly consumers who don't give a damn about you, about how busy you are, or that you're actually doing something, and because of that, my attitude toward people becomes the same. I get that not everyone is like that, but in most cases, this is what happens. So our base is ready. We've done 2. Now we need to add 2 more bases here. Control C, Control V. Got it. Same story, repeating the same process. Select it on the left side, move it aside, select the positions we need. In this case, the binding is already going to marker number 34. Let's make it slightly, maybe a bit darker than the previous one in between. Let's make it a bit darker now, so it's at least visually different. Done! And we have to change the parameter from the top one again, but we have a starting point. Looking for the next characteristics that I liked from previous times. The density here is fine for us. And here are the parameters: 120, 380, 38, 9. So to repeat, that's 120, 380, 38, and 9. These are the values you'll want to keep in mind. 120, 380, 38, and we set the value here to 9. Got it. So getting back to the matter at hand, as they say. For those interested in running tests or experiments, you need to clearly understand that, guys. It doesn't just happen that if you want something, it's just done right here and now with a snap of your fingers. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Uploading, filming, handing out some damn equipment, some endless freaking consultation that I'm already sick of, because it's supposedly free, but they pick your brain so much that I don't even want to do it anymore. And nobody wants to do it on a paid basis either. Everyone believes the hype that it's all crap, so we're binding the next one to marker number 35. At the same time, I'm talking to you and doing some random stuff. Cool, right? Okay, apply. Need to make it a little bit darker. And accordingly, filming, setup, selecting parameters. And the next thing is, unfortunately, there's this issue where people buying equipment from us, at least, want us to just give them everything from A to Z. Again, the parameters here don't suit us. They would actually be more suitable right here. We'll switch over now, of course, on the parameters. And that's probably what we'll do now, because these parameters would likely fit better here. As for the fill density, at least, we're happy with the option here. Let's probably do that. So click here. What do we have here? Speed 250. Again, these are parameters I got through trial and error. I once told some people, I said, well, you've learned how to make babies, but you haven't learned how to engrave. Sad. People got really offended by that. So, okay, pulse width is 80. That's a hell of a lot. Well, what can you do? Let's test it. Okay, and right here in these specs, we're actually using the previous ones. These ones here. This is one of the setup methods. Everything done above was done using a trial and error method, a tough one at that. To be honest, I'm exhausted, but I spent about 3 hours on it. Where do you think I'll get that time back? Well, naturally, from my own personal evening session here at the machine, punching in and picking parameters. That's the reality. So 38.9. 38. And we'll set the value here to 9. In theory, we've done almost everything we need to, so let's put the phone away. We won't need it anymore. Someone's blasting me with messages again. Damn it, endlessly. Like, when? Well, when? You said when, damn it. When the hell am I supposed to do this? I honestly don't know. People want it right here, right now, just for them, but it doesn't work like that. Okay, well, looks like we're done. Now our task is as simple as it gets. We'll just select these 4 items, and we're only engraving these 4 items here. Why didn't some items get selected? I'll have to check that now. See, it's a weird situation. If I select like this, it works. But before, when I selected the same way, one item didn't get picked. I mean, one little square. That's a bummer, because we noticed it now, but unfortunately, most of you might not notice it. Another thing I recommend is resaving. In ESCAD 3.0, you don't have to worry, just save it under the same name. It uses all the RAM. Unfortunately, in ESCAD 2.0, you have to resave under a different name, or just duplicate it, number 2, 3, 4. Because if your file's constantly being overwritten with a structure or object that's too complex, there's a high chance it'll start overwriting the old file, meaning it gets deleted and rewritten, and at some point it'll say there's not enough RAM, and your file will just get screwed up. That's a fact. Let's see, where will this be available for ESCAD 3.0? It'll likely be available in the tutorial for ESCAD 3.0. I'm starting to record it bit by bit now, making time for it. It takes a hell of a lot of time. Unfortunately, damn it, nobody's given me that time. I have to find it myself. Don't be offended by the swearing. It's just that I'm in a state where I feel like people messaging me don't give a damn what I'm busy with or how busy I am. Just give it to me right here, right now. Give, like the seagulls in the movie, right? Anyway, but okay, today's video isn't about that. So we've aligned everything and saved it. Now let's move on to the engraving. Let's see what we get. Let's do a quick test of the first one on this piece of metal. On this one, well, it looks okay. It's just been ground down. Well, more or less, it's working out. I mean, something's appearing on it. We'll start on this one, press F1, and we'll engrave it right here at the bottom. Just like that, we'll do it on the side. There, and we'll get some kind of result. Maybe we'll make adjustments, move it lower or higher. That'll all happen off camera, of course. The height varies depending on the metal's thickness. By the way, thanks to the guys from Rostov who sponsored all this metal for our tests and experiments. There's a huge amount there. Probably. Damn, 200 kilograms. Thanks for the sponsorship, but I almost threw my back out while moving it all. These same plates? I polished these plates myself, but these other ones are unpolished. So the metal is just as it is. We'll test it from different sides. Let's see. This looks quite saturated here, but that's because it's been polished. This has the same metal structure in theory, but it's just ground down. We're out of space here. And I think we're out of space here too. We filled up everything we could. Right, so we'll test here for now. Maybe while this is testing, I'll polish one of these discs and we'll test it on a polished surface.
Mama, in our Russia, the girls are getting prettier. The grass is greener. They're paper bills, Mama, maiden.
By the way, here's an interesting situation where we, well, planned for one color, but get something completely different. Which, honestly, I'm already happy about. And here's the next situation. For example, we see some scorching on the edges of the top layer here, so something didn't go according to plan. I'll have to check it out. The left structure? We got what we wanted. I mean, this part, let's do it like this. Let's zoom in on it a bit, I guess. So the top left structure worked out. The bottom right one worked too. No issues there at all. The top one failed for several reasons. Either the frequency range is too high, meaning the frequency is too great, which makes it hard for the start to ignite and gain power. The bottom left one didn't turn out the way we wanted, but unfortunately it turned into something we didn't want. Right, I'll definitely save this now. I won't touch the top one. We're gonna make some adjustments to this one now, but for this bottom one, here's what I'd do. Copy paste, and shift the power higher. Let's go do it. Yeah, let's look at the first one, just so it stops pounding. Let's check the first one. This top right one, what's wrong here? Speed is 1000. Ignition, specifically the ignition opening delay. Let's set it to -50. It won't help, I'm telling you straight. Plus, well, I don't like what's happening there. So let's lower the speed to 900. Then Q-pulse, power, frequency. Well, more or less. I'd still tweak the frequency a bit to 180 and bump the power up to 80%. Right, but that's the only thing we can do to test and see how it turns out. Now for this bottom row, it's kinda good, but also kinda bad. So a simple way to change the parameters is to just flat out change the characteristics. The best option right now to keep that structure and add a new one is to do a copy-paste again, meaning we copy-paste. Next. We select what we need, meaning the layers. We link it to marker 35. 35 or 36? 36, I think. I think 35 is taken. Checking now. Yeah, 35 is taken. That's right, we used 36. Okay. Looking at the top one, we have 250, 180, 20, 80. So look, we repeat the same thing. 250, 180, 20, 80. So 180, 20, and here we set the value to 80. But there's a slight catch, since we already got the colors here. Specifically, colors in the direction we need, we can shift it and get some other interesting colors, for example, right? Or we can do exactly what we were interested in. We're looking for black shades of black. So the best option in this cube, but let's do a slight color shift now, just a tiny bit. So what do we have here? 180, 20, 80. Looking at this image, what I would do is I'd add a little more power, just a tiny bit really. So let's set the power to, say, 25. That's a good option. Okay, let's leave it. And next we do this. Look, Control C, Control V. Step down, use Shift to push our snake, select these parameters again, change them to marker 37. Same thing, change the parameters here. Again, it's tedious work because you have to deal with it. The numbers are as follows: 250, 180, 30, and 80. To clarify, these are the values that have been provided: 250, 180, 30, and finally 80. We'll also do a power shift. In the upper part, we change the values here too. 90, 90. Don't ask why I'm doing it this way. There are 2 full videos on this topic. You can go ahead and watch them on the YouTube channel about Startesi Laser, Ophantesi, Polygontesi. And it's the same story. We select everything we've got here, hit it from the other side, repeat the process, and hit the other elements. The main thing is that nothing gets warped here. Here we've got the dark shades we needed, shades of black.
I learned that I have a huge family, a path, a forest, every stalk in the field, a river, the air, the blue sky. It's all mine.
Okay, so I ran the tests. Once again, I didn't like something. Basically, the top part didn't work out, so we'll adjust that now too. The bottom part didn't work. It all went quite poorly. I've made corrections to the bottom 2 rows. By reducing the pulse duration, we got more stretched out colors, but they're somewhat similar to the ones on top. Now we'll adjust them a bit more by frequency range. I'll shift it down just a little. And here, we need to change the Q pulse. Set it lower so that it doesn't burn on us. And we're doing tests in other directions accordingly.
Old house in the garden, currants bloom in the garden, I'll pick those currants. Feel the scent of the homeland, a magical sound in the morning. Road noise and birds chirping, millions of sleepy faces are pacing along.
Let's look at several options at once. Once finished, I'll explain a few things right away. I hope people can get some understanding, though I'm sure that 90% of those watching this video who've made it this far, they don't give a damn at all. First, when people tell me like, we came to you because we thought you were a pro, that doesn't mean I'm gonna drop everything, damn it, and go running headlong, damn it, to engrave everything for you right away. Like, drop everything, toss out orders, work pieces, everything, and just deal with your tasks. No, not a chance. When you reach out to someone, don't manipulate them if you want something. Like, right now there's one guy pestering me with messages, writing stuff like, I'm messaging you and you're not replying. Why? Because I'm working, dad? People just have zero logic, damn it. Like, if a guy's sitting there filming a video, it means he's doing jack shit. Will they judge by their own standards? Meaning, if I'm sitting on the couch doing jack shit and I'm bored, I'll annoy everyone around me. Anyway, now about the engraving. What do we get on this metal?
In this case, with the adjustments, there are pink colors, shades, basically all sorts of things.
Same story here. Everything seems to look pretty good, nice and saturated. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it well.
There, well, it all looks cool.
Yes, this is glossy, I'm telling you now, it's iridescent. We have some matte shades, but right here in this part. I might film these settings separately for a tutorial, explain how I did it, what parameters and specs I used, and how much I changed everything. This was all done manually. If we're talking about changing the metal, yeah, we changed the metal, took a different one. We took this metal and started hitting it with ready-made settings. You can see there's no hint of red here, it's black. We got what I needed, which is a graphite black color there, a glossy black. Here I got like a really good deep black color. I really like it. So glossy black here, graphite black color there. Here we got a very dark gray shade, quite decent and interesting, and here we got nothing, accordingly. But on this metal, again, if I polish it, maybe it'll be different. I decided to test 430 stainless steel, although this stainless steel isn't magnetic. I did similar tests right here. The same one, meaning graphite black. On the 430, the glossy black turned out quite good, you know, saturated, but again, there's no hint of red here in these zones. So it directly depends on the metal thickness, the room temperature, and other factors accordingly. This little strip, of course, really made me happy. I mean, you can see a good saturated blue here, shades of purple, a light blue, yellow, everything's saturated and matte. It's just pure joy. I'm really digging these. Now, if we flip our workpiece over like this, you can see that the colors are already changing. Just a tiny bit, which means we're getting not just temper colors here, but also interference colors. And at certain angles, you can see it looks yellow in some spots and red in others. So now I need to figure out if it's temper color or interference color and what that actually affects the most. So that's the deal. I spent about 2 hours on this, of my own time. Whether that's a lot or a little, I can't say. I'm enjoying myself. Plus, I'm building a template library that I'll use later for the training course I sell. For those who want to learn, well, let's just say, not from YouTube videos. So if you're interested in learning beyond YouTube videos, there's a link down below. Phone, WhatsApp, if it's still working, I hope. I mean, damn, the world's such that it might not even work anymore, but you can also message me on Telegram. Regarding the training course, again, I'm working on parts for EVCAD 3.0 and EVCAD 2.0. It's mostly finished, but I might record a bit more. And finally, for those who watch this far, guys, just because someone recommended me doesn't mean I'm gonna kiss everyone's butt. Or that I'll be all smiles with everyone. I have my moments. I'm only human. I also get tired of the endless constant messages and the idiocy people sending. Some real crazy stuff comes through sometimes. The phone can't even handle taking a screenshot. It's literally melting from this crap, damn it. And I have to sort through all this garbage. Anyway, wishing everyone the best and lots of cash. I hope you get some great clean color engravings, like this, so everyone succeeds with nice colors and transitions, on all kinds of materials. So good luck, and bye everyone.